Good morning. I have a lot I want to say, and I've actually written it down so that I can get it across with as much clarity as possible. I mentioned in a previous video about focusing on the positive. I realize that's not always easy to do. It's not about just being positive. It's a positive mindset, and it takes time and practice to develop that. It doesn't mean we don't get angry or sad. It just becomes a lot easier to get out of those negative emotions. We can get out much more quickly. I spent most of my life in a victim mode. I didn't understand who I was. I didn't understand why I was here. I didn't understand where I was going. What I was supposed to be doing, as I know a lot of us feel that way. I felt worthless. My entire life, as far back as I can remember, I've had trouble fitting in and relating to people. I was afraid of people, and I felt no one liked me. I desperately wanted to be loved, but I hated myself. I've experienced deep depression, paralyzing fear and panic attacks, suicidal thoughts. Whenever I felt suicidal, all I could think was, I want to go home. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go home. I lived in fear. I was afraid of the future. I didn't trust my choices. I was afraid of others. And I was very afraid of a wasted life. I didn't understand how to be happy. I didn't realize that it was a choice. I felt trapped and helpless and completely misunderstood. I knew guilt and shame. I'd been labeled. I spent years denying my true self, struggling while living a life I absolutely despised, surrounded by people I could not relate to. I hated my life, and my soul was screaming. For years, my soul was screaming. I was consumed with anger because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I didn't understand until recently that the reason I'm so sensitive and I tire of people, even though I love people a lot, is because I'm an empath. I feel things really deeply. I quickly absorb and take to heart negative energies. I read people really well, but I've spent a lot of time ignoring my intuition, and I've paid a hefty price when I've ignored my intuition. In other words, I've taken the long route to where I sit today. The biggest turning point in my life was watching my husband slowly die. He was terrified. When I told him it was okay to go, he sat up in bed and said, "No, you don't understand. I have something to tell you," in a total panic. Those were the last words he said to me when he was lucid. I knew that he had nothing to fear because I've always wanted to go home. I knew there was nothing to fear about what happens when you die. He did not. He was absolutely terrified. He fought and fought to stay alive. I didn't want this to happen to me. He died a really slow and painful death, and he wasn't at peace. I know he is now. But there wasn't any reaching him at that point. I couldn't reach his soul. He was pretty lost, and he was in denial. I was his full-time caretaker, and those months of carrying him were the hardest and the worst days of my life. I lost sleep, basically got none at the end, lost any joy. I was pretty dead inside. I honestly didn't think I would survive it myself. I was like a caged animal, desperately wanting to be free, but bound. I didn't think I would survive it. I did say that already, excuse me. I did not know at the time that those dark days were a turning point for me. This is where I began to find the light within the darkness. I know now that he was an important part of my journey. He was here to teach me. And somehow we worked through a karmic lesson. And I thank him for that. I know now that it's okay to be happy. We're not supposed to be living in misery and fear. We're meant to be happy. We're here to love. We're here to grow and learn. And we learn by experiencing some darkness. Because all our spirit knows is love and light. So we come here in human form to experience these other things. When we're not happy, we're denying our true selves. I want you to know that you can get through whatever you're going through. I want you to know that you are a powerful, powerful being. I want you to know that you do belong, that you do have a purpose here. I want you to know that you can fulfill your dreams. And I want you to feel at peace. You can be free. You can change your mind. You can change your thoughts. Your thoughts do become your reality. You can have any life you desire. You can know your true self and be your true self. And I don't want you to be afraid of that. You can be loved, and you are loved. You are surrounded by passed on loved ones. You are surrounded by angels and guides. And they do send you messages. You're never, ever alone. I was really lost. I was confused. I was tortured. If you'd asked me a few years ago what I was interested in, I had no answer. I had no clue. If you asked what I was passionate about, I couldn't tell you. If you asked what made me happy, I couldn't think of anything. I had no desire, no passion, no real fun in my life. I didn't have any hope. I felt really trapped. I pretended to be interested in things I wasn't. I took on other people around me. I took on their interests as my own. And that did not lead where I wanted. So don't be afraid to be your authentic self. Don't be afraid to take the first step. I don't know ultimately where this channel is going to lead. I'm taking steps as I feel guided by my intuition. I'm opening up more to spirit daily. I am studying tarot. Will I read tarot? I don't know. Right now I'm reading oracle cards. My goal is to be of service in whatever way Spirit wants me to. I want to spread positivity. I want to spread hope and awareness that you can survive whatever you're going through and you can thrive. I desire to spread love and just offer encouragement. If you've wandered off that trail and lost your way, don't give up. Keep going. You will be guided back to the right path. I promise you that. Some of us just take a little longer. I certainly did. But it's okay. I hope that you'll join me as I evolve, and I hope that you'll evolve with me. I send all my love.